There we go. And we are recording. And this is No Time for Rational Thinking. It is Volume 21, Episodes 1 and 2, Understood. So we have today, along with Flash and Vinny, we've got Solvinur Walter from the Solvinur event. And we're going to be looking at some things as far as communication and now, I don't know if I've seen this before, but it came to me recently after trying to just make it real simple what the trivium is, to be seek, see, say. And today we will be experiencing this broadcast in the full spectrum of language. So there will be undoubtedly some explicit content. So that is a warning for tender ears at this time. Well, and why that is because so many words do need to be examined and that we might interact through our communication. Walter, how you doing?
Hey Vince, I'm doing okay. How are you?
Good to have you along. How you doing, Flash? How's you guys are pretty near neighbors over there? Over yonder in the Netherlands?
Yes.
So I asked this question of a few people, friends of mine around here close, and I'm going to ask you to think about it, the listeners in chat. And for those of you listening downstream, don't look at the comments yet. Just if you'd like to participate, when I say the word understood, what does that mean to you? So take about a minute and then post it drop it in there. Understood. So I asked it a few people. I asked them. Understood, and I got generally two responses. That is comprehend or understand. So using the definition nearly in the for the definition, yeah. And also was, do you understand? Let me see here. I've got these separate sheets on around here. So, how you say it, what you say, and how you say it, right? Understood. I know what you mean. That's what I got from a couple of girls. Their response was separately. They didn't even, they weren't in the same place when I asked the question. And then a couple of fellas was, comprehend or understand. There's a pretty long list, and I'll look at this here for a second. When I went to the thesaurus for understood, synonyms are accepted, appreciated, implied, inferred, known, pat, presumed, unsaid, axiomatic, down pat, inferential, on to, Roger, tacit, taken for granted, undeclared, unexpressed, unspoken, unstated, wise to, and wordless. Antonyms were expressed, stated, explained, explicit, spoken, and written. So more words, there's a lot of words related to understood. And then each of those, of course, then has a lot more words to some of them repeating that assigned to them. Assumed, customary, implicit, implied, intuitive, tacit, T-A-C-I-T, tacit. Is that the correct pronunciation? And there's quite a long list that just keeps going on here. When you click next, that is, unsaid, heard, interpreted.
Ramsey work gets it.
Pardon?
Ramsey work gets it.
Ah, good. Gets it. Yeah, I get it. Exactly. Perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
I get it. Understood. Perceived, unspoken, crystal clear, inferred, undoubting, unhesitating. I mean, this just keeps going in a big. Well, I thought I clicked the next one. Maybe not. There it is. Yep. unquestioning, unuttered, absorb, appreciate, assimilate, assume, believe. Believe. Cats. And the list continues. There's 7 pages there from thesaurus.com. Browse understood. So now I can kill that tab. And I think this machine is cooperating here. And calm down on the screen. So Walter, how you doing, brother?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. It's being a thunderstorm here at the moment. So my garden is getting all the rain that it needs now.
Good. Yeah, I've got little raindrops. I call it more like wet air at the moment. So when we think about understand, we need to use this digital storage device that we have in storing information, of course, in our DNA. And that's pretty neat.
Storing information what?
In our DNA. Biological information stored in our DNA.
Yeah. Coded. Yeah.
So considering that, I would think that there would be limits in our understanding because we can only process information that we have available or the ability to perceive and process. Being aware or lack of awareness in comparison, not awake, self-deception, but aware what it comes from lying to self, in a sense. So we do that as well. We lie and don't even know we lie. So our perception our perceptions are very biased in what is perceived and why and from what senses are used. So in an examination and to be able to say I have an understanding, we can't know all, but we can know quite a bit. And if we take a look and study the machine-like nature of self, that would be self-survival or die for one's belief. Is it the same thing, self-defense or defense of self-image, that is, with all the lies and self-deception or face the pain of forging ahead or confronting these other ideas that contradict that which is against all the past perceptions that make us who we are, all that we've defended. Truth comes from dying to self, in a sense. You have to eliminate that being how you have come to be this created person of notion and ideas, all from influence. So, in a sense, one would need to die to self to be able to come to truth, and that's where I would say truth comes from, and that fabrication created within a mind. It's a survival of the fittest, a drive that comes from the idea that I am the most important over all else, self-agenda, and there we have this biological information stored in DNA. And there are the limits of understanding, I'd say.
Huh.
What do you think, Walter?
Well, when understanding, when put to me just as a word, I come up with a whole different kind of approach. It's like it's out of context, right? Understand what, what are you talking about? In Dutch, we use the word begrip, and it means to grip something, to get a handle on it, or to get it, as Gramsci put it also in the chat. And it's also, of course, the second step of the trivium. It's the removing of contradictions that you find within the data that you have gathered about a certain topic. So those are like the things that come to my mind when you say understood.
Flash, what is it that comes when I say understood that you would what you would think?
Well, to me, I don't think it's possible. I think that people that are worried or concerned, let's use that word, somebody that's concerned about understanding or being understood is spending far too much time paying attention to what I'm doing, and they're not looking at their self enough. That's what I think, because I don't give a shit to understand anything.
So, wait, I was preparing for 420 here, but I think I need to clear this first, so yeah, 5 minutes away. Be prepared.
Right. Well,
always be prepared.
We can make
that. Okay. Now that that's out of the way.
Well, we're indeed living in a shared illusion. So if that is the case, and that's what I believe, then understanding it doesn't serve the purpose.
Well,
yeah, that's a logical conclusion, yeah. If you think everything is not real, then why make an effort to understand anything?
Wow. So you've pigeonholed yourself rather nicely then, I'd say.
Yeah. Well, if that's my choice. I could be a serial killer and join the Marines instead, but I thought maybe just being a free thinker and living out in the middle of nowhere was better.
Bear with me. I'm nearly ready. Or prepared. Yeah, prepared.
But yes, I'm not speaking for any group of anybody. I'm just talking for me. On top of it all.
So I guess we all have a little faith somehow or another in what it is we believe in. We take some for granted. We take some assumptions. And myself, I don't use faith. I use experience and evidence. And so when I say I have no faith in God, it means for me that it's self-evident.
I just use cannabis. I cut out the middleman that way.
But the point of communicating is that many in unity, that is with a common purpose, that we're seeking to at least be a part of some change, right?
You mean by making radio?
Yeah. And any type of participation people do, whether it be signing a petition or talking to folks that they know, their family, or doing radio or posting on Facebook. I mean, all that is with purpose, and it's because we have a perception, and people see a commonality, and then we get sidetracked off on some BS that what does motivate us. If we're forced, it comes from fear.
Fear is something you overcome when you become awake.
Yeah.
But I doubt that people making radio, whether it's Alex Jones or whoever, will have an effect because it's tolerated by the system. It's allowed to be there, and therefore it poses no threat. See? It's all part of culture creation, I think.
Well, yeah, but who's creating the culture?
Well, people like Edward Bernays play a nice role in there. B.F. Skinner plays a role in there. So
that reminds me. I'm going to go grab this. Sorry, you guys won't be able to hear this. Where did I write my note out on the link? 48, I think. Let me just check. Yeah. So it's 48 minutes here. Let me go 48 seconds. I'm sorry. Reduce this out of the way. Go here. I think I got a preset. I do. And so I'll have to watch this. I'm going to mute up just a second. You guys mute for 48 seconds. I'll call you right back in. Let me play this.
What's he
belittle, and
doing?
deny someone's position and point of view by simply accusing them of being a conspiracy theorist.
Stand by, Walter,
Conspiracy,
48
or to
seconds. You won't be able to
conspire,
hear this.
means to make secret plans jointly to commit an unlawful or harmful act. A theory is a supposition of ideas intended to explain something. A theorem is a general proposition, not self-evident, but proved by a chain of reasoning. Conspiracies are not theories, they are theorems. They can be proven by the simple fact that organized evil has a historicity. It is without question that people in all sorts of different arenas, political, military, economic, social, etc., conspire for myriad reasons all the time. The hardest thing for a modern man to do is admit that the history of such atrocities is not just a thing of the past, it's in the present and in the future as well. Claudia Pavonis.
Okay, so now we're back. That was a little excerpt I pulled out of last Saturday. Kira had Marty Leeds on as a guest, and I joined in a little bit. I guess clowning around. Have you heard of Marty Leeds? Marty Leeds 33 is his.
Yeah, from the Skira, because I'm usually more on the RLM radio last couple of weeks, months. Yeah. And there I heard the Skira for the second time with that person you named.
Yeah, I had previously not been aware, as far as I know, of Marty Leeds. But I spent a few days here, these last few days, checking out a lot of what some of their stuff up on YouTube. Very interesting. Wow, and the using the fingers. Let's see, I'm trying to remember those things here. Oh God, my mind just went blank. Never mind. I'll come back to that if I think to. But yeah, Marty Leeds 33, YouTube, Facebook, on the web. So, oh yeah, my point. Yeah, theories and theorems and ideas here that that we have talking about all the things, all the agencies, about everything that is said against us. I mean, every portion of societal control has been harnessed, and you went back to Edward Bernays. Oh, hey, we're 1 minute late. Pause for True at Cannabis Can. And the Buzz Beaver salute you. Roger Houston, we have ignition. Hey, is it flat or round from up there, Bob? Yeah. That is the issue. What we talk about. Sometimes what we're allowed to politely discuss in society has some stigma that comes along with it. Many issues, you're just a conspiracy theorist, ain't you? Well, a lot of facts. Now, what he was talking about there, if I can remember, has to do with the facts, how that's just the way it's been done. Now, one would think it's not an impossible step to think that generational plans have been in place, and that's where we are in this controlled society because of these people that wield great power. They control the money, the issuance. It's robbery, and then they steal elsewhere, everywhere they can. So, what a wonderful world it would be if we weren't deceived. And a lot of times that deception is self-deception again, because we might not be comfortable about discussing some information or ideas, like a flat Earth. I mean, some people just think that that's preposterous. But like all the other agencies, how can you accept anything from NASA? So, I mean, you can't say it's not flat.
I think the whole flat Earth thing is a testament to the lack of imagination at the CIA headquarters, who is usually source of this kind of disinformation to keep people from researching stuff that needs attention.
Very good point. And then that is most probable explanation of that. So, but like I said, I don't think anything should be off topic or out of bounds. So if that's what a person would like to explore, then by all means.
I'm willing to discuss God with you, but that's about how far as willing I'm to go. It's no use wasting time on things like flat Earth or hollow Earth or things like that.
And see, that's good, because that means we have a voluntary interaction and not communication. And we have the right to set perimeter too, and bounds, because that's order. Being there's a difference between order and being ordered, and I think that's the contrast of what it is we're witnessing and judging, and interaction by free will, and that which motivates us is a desire or a want, or what I call the commonality is the bottom line. The common denominator is love. and I guess what is the opposite of love? Hate. So, yin and yang or whatever. I don't think that one requires another. I think one could completely consume, or you could be, partial to one and not so much the other, right? So all by choices in how we deal with one another and interact in the world. There's a lot of means of communication that beyond words. So, just...
yeah, absolutely.
Well, yeah,
did you know that they did a little research on that? I was confronted with it at a course I do at work. And it was stating that if you make a line, say from 1 to 100, that's 100%, right? And then communication is divided up into 3 parts. 10% is talking, 80% is body language, and the rest is intonation. So body language is one of the most important languages we use, apparently.
Yeah. Right. So you said what? Tone inflection is what I have written down in it's facial movements. Body language.
Tonatie, we say in Dutch. I didn't know exactly how to translate that.
Say that one more time.
Tonatie.
Tonatie. Wow.
Yeah. Oh. It's not a Nazi, but a tonatie.
Shout out to Hans Dietrich or Dan B. Cooper.
No, it's just strange, we call, in Dutch we call the UN, we call the de Verenigde Naties. But if you say that, it sounds just like Nazis,
Perfect, then. Right? So we break our brain down here for all those zombies desiring to feed upon the cranial matter. We have what, let's see, 3 parts, I guess. Limbic, we got the neocortex and the reptilian part of the brain, that freeze, flight, or fight.
It is 4 parts, I believe.
4, okay, good. I missed one. Let me have it. I'll grab my pen to correct myself.
I think so. I just saw a video about it.
Vince only has 3. Everybody else.
3?
Yeah, but I had a bottle in front of me. A frontal lobotomy. No, I'll take a bottle in front of me. Thank you for 200, Alex. But the limbic, that's that computer part of the brain. It's that honest, the part that has no deception, right? It's just a storage device. Takes information. Reflection. You might see somebody, your first love, and then see them perhaps, and boom, there's this light up, whatever. It's that part of the brain that sends that memory for, and then your body then would react. The neocortex is less reliable, and it lies a lot. But right back to that, that left brain, right brain, freeze, flight, or fight. When looking at somebody, if you're like analyzing a person, and by being able to see them and interact, you have the ability or the benefit of being able to see how their body is moving. So you like if you were asking somebody a question and they like freeze, like that deer in the headlight, it's definitely grabbed them and their interest or sparked them somehow, right? So there's many different signs that you might read. Raised eyebrow, you walk into the room and somebody sees you and their eyebrows raised. That means they like you. If they glance at you and their eyebrows are downturned, then they obviously do not. So, what are some of these things that one would look for? Structural awareness, and the more you understand the context, the better ability you have to reason out what it is a person is and their message, perhaps, that they're trying to convey. We have universal body language. It's certain things are recognized around the world in response by folks. Go ahead.
In some cultures, shaking your head means yes, and nodding means no. So
right. Yeah, there are
some things are turned around, but yeah.
Absolutely.
I guess we got that. I think, dare I say, through evolution.
I can go with that. Yeah, we changed, evolved, or devolved.
Yeah.
There's specific. Go ahead, Class. Maybe not. There's specific individual behaviors, what is called a baseline, that would have to be known. That way you could set normal versus abnormal for markers. People have tails, like in poker and so forth.
Yeah. And what we should probably also mention, stealing this from Terence McKenna, is that according to him, he said that the people that study language estimate that it originated about 50 to 35,000 years ago. And that means that it's quite a novelty, which is a word he also likes to use very much. And that it might be a transformation process into something which he calls visual language, where you actually see what's being spoken. Now, I think that's a bit too far out, but it is a new phenomena on the Earth as we know it. So.
Yeah, that goes to this idea that I think maybe that like numbers exist, and it's just because you write it down, it exists elsewhere. I don't know. I guess it's a little more metaphysical. There's Han Dietrich. He has made it after all.
Oh yeah, they're still debating about that, whether you discover math or you invent math. They're still trying to cut the axe one way or another.
Yeah, I've been, like I said, Marty Leeds. It's been pretty fascinating how numbers are so assigned to letters, and it's pretty amazing.
The whole concept of math being discovered has to do with Plato's forms. Somewhere out there is this non-material existence of all the forms that are out there, including the numbers. So, and the number that we use here in this material universe would just be a vague, shadowy representation of the form of the number. Right, so it's very, I would say, even religiously rooted. because Plato was a very religious figure.
Fascinating, isn't it? Very much so.
And then, of course, the inventors, the people that claim that we invent math, are more of a materialistic viewpoint. Right, you will find more atheists among there, I guess.
How about Flash?
What?
What? What are you doing?
Playing a game.
Are you counting on your fingers? On your fingers.
No.
Walter, let me ask you to break down how thoughts are put in order. I mean, as far as theorems and, what was the other word? I lost myself in my notes. But how do we go about? Let's get you to explain the process of thought formulation and presenting, in the end there as rhetoric.
You're talking about the trivium.
Well, yeah, and also, explain the step process. I'm looking for a word that it's like many things escapes me at the moment.
You mean logic?
Yeah, well, that's certainly included. Wait a minute, I think I may have found my spot here. So let me back up just for a minute, and I'll read through these notes here and see if if this sparks, theorem, I think was the word I was looking for. One of them, anyways. So do the math, and this is again a shout out to Marty Leeds, 33. Is it? Let me try this again. Neither. Yeah. Is it neither confirm or deny? Let me try that one more time. Is to try to confirm or deny, is it meaningless, logical, or ill? And here's where the eyebrow goes up from spot. Illogical. Is it cranial, a priori? There's the word I was looking for, Walter. A priori. Theorem, stipulated by rules, outlined, mechanical computations in a formal system. These are true propositions that are at least as true as that we can assume them to be. So, how would you outline then this idea of how we would formulate
a priori? Yeah, Gino Denning tried to explain it to me. I didn't fully understand. There's that word again. At that time, I think I got a little bit of better grip on it now, so to speak. It's like an axiom, right? These are facts that you take for granted because to you they are self-evident. And that's added to the list of a priori knowledge. It comes again from Plato, though. That's, I think, how he meant it, is that there is a priori knowledge everywhere because all you had to do was remember it. You were born with all the knowledge of your past lives, and all you had to do was remember it. And so there's that interpretation of a priori knowledge. So basically, whenever I hear that word, I just replace it with axiom.
Okay, I was trying to drop back here in chat from Wanataka. If you believe you're fighting for truth and justice, but through some deception or misunderstanding, you are accidentally helping who you consider as the enemy. Would you want to know? Whoops, where'd you go? It jumped. Oh, done it. Would you want to know about that, or would you rather remain blissfully ignorant and continue to help evil while thinking you are the good guy? Many say they would, but get uncomfortable realizing the presence and extent of contradiction in your own head. Further, the art of deception is making someone see the world as it isn't. Another effective method or deception and a politician's first choice, using lots of big words to not say something. Exactly.
Yeah.
A whole lot of nothing, right? How did people trade among themselves without numbers and math? Is another question. And then the Hans posted in there the Plato and the existence of God.
Yep.
But understanding, how do you? Let's just look at how you. Wait a minute. Let me back up here. Did I write it down? Wait, I have it over here. Let me read this real quick. Let me read this. And this is from the plagiarized, paraphrased plagiarist, that is. So I did take that from somebody. And didn't give them accreditation. But in all situations, we are both teacher and student. So I definitely consider it as a teacher. You gave me some good direction, brought me here to this point where I'm at of trying to be able to explain in rational thinking what it is that we see, and that requires communication. So, of course, it may not be too obvious that I'm trying. So how would you go about telling us, Walter, how you use your logical process to come about talking about something, idea that you'd like to share? So.
Well, mostly my logical processors raise red flags because I don't, normally engage with the rest of the community here, except for my neighbor maybe, and what I hear at work, right? And so there's the radio where sometimes nonsense comes out, and there's the people where sometimes nonsense comes out, and that's where my logic tells me there's something wrong with the way they are thinking. I'm not specifically using it to talk with these people, so I'm only using it to express myself if I'm asked a question, and that's about it. Yeah. It's there's a different way in which it is used, and that's for yourself best used, and that's the trivium method, in which you use logic as a second step when you've gathered enough data about a certain topic, and when you try to make a picture of this data, when you try to get a full view of what you're looking at, and if you've understood the workings of the pieces of data correctly, and then you should be able to fit them together. These pieces of data are often called building blocks, and if they don't fit together, then there is a contradiction, and it's either you don't understand the data, or the data is faulty. It means there's a contradiction within your data pack that you gathered about a certain topic. Let's say, for instance, weather modification, right? There's a whole there's a whole environment that needs to be included when you want to talk about things like weather modification. So you need to gather all kinds of data about everything that goes on in the environment, and there you will find contradicting data bits pieces. Like people will say, there's planes in the air and they seem to be spraying this stuff and it's growing bigger and bigger. It's not dissipating like a contrail would, and it's blocking the sunlight. And there's people that would say, well, you're nuts, right? You can't include that in your grammar. Then you will get a wrong understanding of how weather modification is actually done, right? So then when you've completed the first two steps, then you come to the rhetoric step, which is at the point where you can actually explain something to somebody else. Well, where also a sentence that I heard a long time ago takes back to is that if you can't explain something that you're talking about, you don't understand it. Otherwise, you would have been able to explain it. And that's correct. But besides being able to explain it, the rhetoric phase also means that you can act now on the understanding that you've gained from the data that you've collected. And so this is actually how the mind works. And thanks to Kevin Cole, who is a member at the Tragedy and Hope community, we now also know where the trivium came from, where it was introduced in the United States and when, and that we are probably dealing with a watered down kind of trivium, and that the 7 liberal arts as they have been known might also have been 9 or 11. And so this is another clue for me that the trivium has been used against us, because like I just said a minute ago, this is how our mind works, and if you keep the people ignorant of how their mind works, it is much easier to mold it, to have a mass population being mind controlled, because they have no clue of how their own mind works. Right? So I guess that's what I'd have to say about that, Vince.
That's pretty good. I'll definitely have to re-listen and let that soak in. I'd alluded to what may have been assumed to be a bragging of intelligence. I assume my IQ is 25 years ago, at least, it was 126. But I wonder. Also, yeah, I took some test online, and it said 181. I'm like, no. But what it really made me think was, like back when I was so proud to be able to say I aced Jeopardy. What kind of useless crap do you got to know to be a Jeopardy champ, right? So in my thinking shift, I kind of move away from that. But being able to answer these, that 181, I guess I missed one, and I think I guessed it like 3 or something like that. But so the information being asked in my reply was saying how well I had been conditioned, is what it would say for me. But honestly, to take a real honest look at everything, it's pretty hard for most people. We are so conditioned, and we're
conditioned.
Yeah.
Is that the word you're using? Conditioned?
Yes, conditioned.
Yeah.
And hobbled. Yeah, by ourselves, even our brain.
Well, yeah, that's also a topic of great importance in the Vedas, conditioning. And in the Gita, it is explained that there are 3 natural forces. They call them gunas, and they are also can be found back in Plato's explanation of the soul and man, and they are called ignorance, passion, and goodness in the ancient Indian scripts. And the more you are under the influence of nature's nescience, so to speak, then the worse off you are, the more you will suffer. And if you are more passionate in your behaviors, which are governed by nature in their view, then you have less suffering. And if you are dealing only in goodness, then you're supposedly not suffering. And so, yeah, they explain behaviors of man as natural. It almost comes across as deterministic, right? And as if there's no free will. And hence they also, by these gunas, they make the caste system. They divide people into different castes according to which force of nature they are subject to. Yeah.
So, would you say that there are true propositions that can't be proven?
They talked about that in math, and that's what Gödel came up with. That there are propositions in math that can't be proven, and that seemed to be a problem at that point in time when Gödel came up with it.
Was he a crazy guy?
Was he a crazy guy?
Yeah.
I think they suspected that he suffered from schizophrenia.
Yeah, I think I know who you're talking about. So a system, I think this might even came from him, a system that can prove a contradiction can prove anything, right? So that's illogical. Like rainbow unicorn farts can't be proved by feeding Skittles to a goat with one horn cut off. Right?
Well, that depends on if you got mushrooms or not.
Fruity flavor.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm over here checking out the effing spot, the freedomsnetwork.com. The social site. Howdy do over there to all those fine folks. And speaking of which, there's a picture of Kid Troxel of, what was that, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas? The character there, hilarious, yeah. I bet he had no problem smelling rainbow farts. Thanks, Juana Taco, for the post over there in the shout box. Now live in all situations. We are both teacher and student. This is No Time for Rational Thinking, Volume 21 and Episode 1 so far anyways. Understood. Walter Hendricks for the Solvinur event is our guest here on RealLibertyMedia.com. So what we're trying to do in examination of this all that is, or at least that we can perceive, is to reduce it to an infinite, or at least an infinite irreducible complexity, or try to, and come along with some axioms of logic, then, or levels of ignorance. I'm not sure which sometimes.
Is your level of ignorance actually measurable?
How much time do we got?
Not enough.
Hans B. Cooper has sent me a message that he feels warm, all warm and fuzzy. He does. all warm and fuzzy, like a caterpillar, I guess.
Yeah, that happens when you listen to the show with your hand down your shirt.
That's what we call the Napoleon. And the Napoleon off, of course, when you remove your hand. On, off, on, off.
Vince, would you consider yourself an anarchist?
I changed the spelling and coined it a new word for what I might presume to be, and I will spell it anarch-I-C. So I-S-E-E.
Okay, well, anyway, I saw a post, I think it was on Freedom's Network, about a claim that anarchists are atheists. Would you agree with that?
No, as a matter of fact, I've made the presumption that God himself is an anarchist. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, let's look at this. Free will and self-determination. Why does evil exist? I would go back and I guess I would have to really give my stand on what it is that my summation for me, for all that I've looked for, what it is I believe. I'll go ahead and say it. Don't be scared by that word. I believe within the existence of all that is, there came a point in time when there was a question brought forth: is God just? Now, there was it came about that there was some rebellion, and it was about this time that we that are here and this perception that we have came along, and it was decided that this will be the ground that the questions answered. So, for all the creation, all the beings that exist beyond our reach, some may argue that, but I say that there's if God is infinite, and he would have to be, there would be so much creation. But anyways, I think that right here, we're in a quarantine, we're isolated, and this question that we are, in fact, standing as witness and standing, in a sense, as God, that we are judging this eternal question of what is right and good. And for me, it is very central. It's not a line, but a point. And I can't say that I exist in that point, but I gravitate towards it. So I think one day we will say that we will make the judgment. I'll leave that up to you for your judgment. I'm certainly not going to judge beyond your interaction with me in the same sense of the right to exist and not be not imposed or be imposed upon. I think that's kind of the bottom line. So that's what I believe. And as far as that path, it's not enough time to really lay all that out, but yeah, I believe in God, and I think that I find that this question will be settled, and I think that one day things will be made right. But in the meantime, you can't use that as an excuse of it's all God's will. It's all God's will.
Yeah.
We have to resist, actively resist, and try to make right when we can.
So, and Grimner says, so if you don't believe in government, you're an atheist. And of course, that's it doesn't make any sense, and he's quite correct in stating this at that point. The idea, however, that people that say, anarchists must be atheists, probably comes from a history that we have, a long history with pharaohs and kaisers and kings. And these kings derived their so-called authority from God, right? And so, in the old days, the kings were the government. So there's no difference between a king and a government in that sense. And so therefore, they say, well, if you don't believe in God, then, you must not believe in government. And if you don't believe in government, you don't believe in God. Isn't that what the Bible also says, that God made government or something?
I don't know. There's a verse that says, "Render unto Caesar which is Caesar's," but that's
Romans 13, isn't it? Romans 13, right? Or is that false verse?
I'm not sure. Graham says anarchists believe in natural law. That's right, not man's law, because man's law is not law; it's legal as law. So natural law, the law of the universe, God's law, it is self-evident of do no wrong. All right. Brain pause there. Who was trying to read? Graham says sometimes when you are nice and considerate to others, they try to make you suffer because that's what you did for me 5 seconds ago. What are you doing for me now? And rainbows are unicorn farts, of course. Flash, you're being falsely accused. You've never said the earth is flat. I can't recall you ever saying the earth is flat.
No, I don't claim it anything. I don't know. How the fuck do I know? I mean, what am I the guy that knows? And you're all going, well, what is Flash think? Even if I did know, right? And even if I was right, is that going to make my Cheerios taste better or something? I don't get the competition. It makes me bored in about 2 minutes, and then I go back to playing my game.
We have ways of making you talk.
Oh, okay, but still, answer that question. What good does having the answer to the question do you? Besides, it puts you in a better group of people that are, fuck all that. I'm smarter than you because I know what the shape of the planet is, and I can't prove it. Well, there you go. Science said it best.
There you go. Now, no more false accusations, Hans Dietrich.
Oh, you know what? Well, nah, I don't care. I skip over the dumb shit. What does he think he's going to lose sleep tonight because he doesn't approve of how he interprets what I say? I don't give a fuck how he interprets.
My word. That's just terrible.
Sorry, it's the truth. Wait, did you bring me on here to lie? Okay,
yes.
bye.
Yes.
All right.
Lie.
I do everything I'm told to and only a few things I'm told not
to. Okay. Well, in that case, let me catch up to chat here. Let's see what Juana Taco has to say about.
Come on. It's the idea that words are so powerful to some of these people that it creates how they behave. You're like, what? It's like getting mad at a TV set because the show that you're watching, somebody got shot and you wanted them to live. It's insane.
Crazy. Here's what Juana Taco says about divine rights of kings. Says it makes more sense it makes more sense for someone to say, I'm king because I pulled the sword out of a rock and then somehow God made me king, than saying, I'm king because somehow my subjects give me the right and that none of them have given me the rights they don't have, which made me into this magical superhuman thing, which to which rules of morality no longer apply. That's right. To rule another is a complete opposite of morality, isn't it? And I get to rule furthermore. I get to rule over people and hurt them when they don't obey. Hans Dietrich says, well, in order to have a uniform definition of what an anarchist really is, you need some sort of anarchy steering committee. Makes no sense. And further, once you have established...
You know what? Some of these people haven't got a dictionary, is what I think is going on. the definition kind of explains it, and in that definition, you're kind of led to believe there isn't a group because we don't fucking believe in groups.
Well, I believe he's really turning circles like a dog chasing his tail. You know why a dog, by the way, you know why a dog turns around several times before he lays down? Yes, yeah, or you don't know, or
no, I
no,
haven't got. Why would I know?
Because one good turn deserves another.
Oh,
what?
Yeah, bad.
Because one good turn deserves another.
Train wreck.
Actually, I was just reading that actually dogs, when they're pooping, they actually orientate themselves in a compass manner. I forget which direction, whether it be north or south or east and west. Yeah, but
depending on if they had the chicken or the beef. If it's beef, they got to face north.
Okay, Graham said you said something backwards. So,
if it's pork, they can face any fucking way they want.
Okay. Graham's it's flat where she is.
Yeah, flat. You know what difference?
Kansas is flat. It's obvious.
Yeah, okay, whatever floats your boat. But I got bigger things to think about than what the fucking bit of ground I'm sitting on is. Round or flat doesn't really matter when I'm making a sandwich.
Oh, what kind of sandwich?
With bread and shit. You know, meat. Okay, when I tell my wife to go make me a sandwich, okay, at that moment in my life, I don't give a shit if the world is round, flat, or shaped like an octopus's cha-cha. It doesn't matter. Useless information. But what it does accomplish, you guys were talking about fear earlier, and I wanted to jump in, but it's going to start an argument. Emotions are based on two emotions, fear and love, period. All emotions are branched off those two. And then how they operate in our world is they're on a wavelength that you don't see, but it is attracted. You're attracted to either one or the other, but never both at the same time. One is narrow and small, and the other is vast and wide. And fear keeps you in this, like voting for Trump mode that I've been watching. Or Hillary Clinton, like I got an aunt voting for Hillary. So, I mean, I'm not better than my aunt voting for Hillary or any of that. I just know better than my aunt does. And it's a shame to see her, suffer with the illusion of, hey, we're going to fix this. It's all the Republicans' fault.
Well, quite obviously, right. Only government can help us.
Yeah.
Well, if you've been raised in that illusion your entire life and never opened the doorway to hear the opposition one way or the other and stood your ground, what are you going to believe? That's what knowledge really is what you believe. It doesn't even matter if what you believe is true or not. If you believe it, it's true.
Yeah, you're a true subjectivist.
Oh, yeah, I'm so subjective. Yeah, maybe I'm more subjective than most people. I don't really know. Never compared it so much. But, yeah, I was thinking that earlier as well.
Hey, you guys want to take a little break here? Let me throw up. Thanks, Grimner. Come together. So I'm going to go over here and stop the recording. And we'll throw up a 3-minute, 47-second.
Okay.
Now I got mushroom.
All right, you got
I'll
mushroom?
mute up then.
All right, right on. All right. Thanks, Walter. All right, we're back recording. Yeah, come together right now. Hands. He says that, so you see if they're, let me try to read that. So you see that if you acknowledge anyone's authority to do anything, you are no longer have anarchy. I should probably spell check you there. Anarchy is some sort of abstract concept that has never existed and never will. I don't think you understand what this supposed interpretation that you have of anarchy what is. It doesn't mean that you can't have that you don't have rules. That this is what we're talking about. This natural law. This is the law, the rules of anarchy. You think there means no rules? It doesn't mean that you can't have a sheriff. You can't have a peacekeeper. It doesn't mean that you can make that peacekeeper, that sheriff, have the right to go rob you. Okay? See, you're not understanding. I don't know. You should have at least the concept of what it is that we're speaking of here. Along with the self-rule, there is responsibility. It doesn't mean you're free to go do whatever you want to. That's not anarchy. It's not breaking windows and kicking over trash cans and stepping on puppies.
Hey, wait a minute. Now, what does behaving like a douchebag have to do with believing in government? I mean, it's not even the same fucking thing, Vince. You know, kicking over trash cans, that's just behaving like an asshole. What has that got to do? There's lots of people that participate in society that live exactly that way. And they get caught, and they pay their time, their fines or whatever, and they do it again eventually. But what has that got to do with believing or not believing in a government? Or wanting it in your life, or whatever I call what I do? That, you know, I don't find it necessary to be violent and go around tearing shit up. That's stupid. So how does that equate into the? I think it's TV and movies.
I don't know. Taco says some people just feel the need to be governed and told what to say and what to do and what to believe. Right. Hey, welcome, Cowboy. Glad you made it along. The Buddy Cowboy Tech. So yeah, I think we're kicking. I think old Hans rides a dead horse. Kicking it ain't gonna do no good. He's got to drag it around because you can't ride that rhetoric there.
Look, it's simple to understand. You can't be promoted to slave manager if there aren't any slaves to manage.
I see. Oh, wait a minute. I see an arc. An arc.
Maybe he's got a hidden desire. He wants to be a cop or a firefighter and control shit, you know, and be in charge and all that. You got to have slaves to be in charge of, or you're standing alone.
Let's have some preliminary questions here. Okay, so first of all, were you picked on as a child? Do you laugh when people stub their toe? Let's see. Would you like to wear a nice shiny badge and help people understand how to live life? Any more questions? What would be some good prerequisite questions to ask somebody if they would like to, dominate you in a governmental position?
Well, you know, the first thing they do is get their driver's license.
I don't have one.
Well, there you go. Well, you're about as controllable as a fart in a theater anyway.
I told them keep it. I have an expired ID.
All right, but see, at some point, at some point we played the game enough to have the ID so you could travel or work or whatever game it is you're doing. You got to have the documents. That's all it's about. All the rest of this stuff, politics, that's a bunch of shit. The real meat to this game is the controlling us to travel. Keep us in little boxes, know everything we do. Little jobs, little lives. You can't be a big threat to society.
What's a soldat?
Huh?
What's a soldat?
Soldier.
Oh.
It probably stems from the Dutch word soldij, and that means payment for mercenary.
Oh. Hey, nothing says You're really doing something like killing people for money.
Yeah.
Why are you killing them? They hate America and our freedoms because we're free.
Right. That's what it is. No, it's that stupid Donald Trump guy, man. Make America great again.
Hey, don't you be talking bad about the Donald.
He's an idiot. That guy's got all the good words, but he's a fucking idiot.
I heard some states stopped people from voting on him somehow.
I don't know. Don't care. When I go to the train station, they still joke about Donald Trump being the next president. They think it's funny.
You guys keep talking. I'm over here doing.
What?
Yeah, Vince is a nobody now, Grimner.
Me?
He's
Why?
asking if your idea is expired. Does that mean you are no longer who you were when you got it?
Good question.
If you were in Holland, you wouldn't exist anymore. Even you wouldn't be recognized.
Huh.
It's just, it's control. Nothing more or less than control. Can't keep track of your slaves without some form of ID.
What does the word troll mean?
Oh my God. Hey, can I get
Con.
some more? Can I
you
get
break
some more?
Hi, Circle.
Hey, look at this. Cirque and her sister are making jokes here. Never mind.
Okay.
You saw it, all right. They're fucking with me here. Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that. Yeah.
I'm gonna type in this word control. Let's see. Control. Can we even break the word down? Let's try.
I don't know. Let me check if I can find something on that.
Okay. So here, what pops up on my good government provided search engine. Thanks, Google, for looking out for me. I've noticed how my actual filter results are really, I don't get to where I used to could.
This is interesting.
Go ahead, Walter.
Control, 14th century, to check, verify, regulate, from Anglo-French, controller, which means exert authority. From medieval Latin, contratolus or something, a counter, like where you pay things, right? Or a register, from Latin contra, against. So it's from the Latin word contra. Diminutive of rota or wheel. So you see the word roll. That's what it says at the etymological dictionary.
Rock and roll.
Rock and roll.
I knew it. I was close.
The power to influence or direct people's behavior or the course of events. So control then is used in conspiracy, according to many theorems. Okay? Jurisdiction, sway, power, authority, command, dominance, government. Government.
The NBA.
Mastery. Leadership. Rule. Sovereignty. What? Supremacy. Ascendancy. And more.
What you looking at?
The Conspiracy Theorist Handbook.
Yeah, it was. It's what Google gave me.
Google.
Google's good.
Google gave it to him.
Yes.
I hope you can go to the clinic and get rid of it.
I can, yeah.
Oh, damn, I got the Google.
I got the Google. Yeah.
Oh, man. I ain't never drinking that shit again.
Dancing, romancing, always on the go.
The go.
Wow. That's
Go.
That's where the Google comes from.
Oh, right.
Control synonyms. Is Control a movie? Directed by Anton Corbijn or somebody.
He will control the vertical. And then you can try walking across.
I think there's a switch that it will be installed. You know, talking about biometrics. Look at where the hijacking, hijacking of not only humanity or what man is, but of all the environment. It's we really are in a crazy, crazy place of ran by mad scientists, and they're trying their best to keep us crazy and in the asylum.
They're using the internet to do a good job of that.
Yeah.
Did you ever dive into the natural law idea, Vince?
Oh, yeah. That's been a topic. Oh, by the way, I have, it is gardening time, really, and so I think the next couple of weeks what I want to do is drop in the first broadcast and the last broadcast of What Matters Worldwide. So, because, you know, it may not appear so, but it does take a lot of time, really, for me all week to really be listening and taking notes and listen to bring a subject, not appear to be a complete idiot. But anyway, so I want to get out and get my garden finished and get some seeds in the ground. The last frost date is today, so it's time to chop. But anyway, so then we'll take a pause, but then I can just come in and play that, and that way I don't have to spend all week studying, because I need to be chopping. Anyways, where was I at? I lost my place.
Was that secret code for you stored some mushrooms enough to last all the way to summer?
Actually, another point. Actually, the morels are out right now, and so I need to get out under some ash trees. Oh my God! If you've never ate a morel, you don't know. You know what I mean? Hey, I got. You're right in the way. I got to move you out of the way. Excuse me. Got a notification on the effing side over there, Freedom's Network. Howdy, man.
So what can you tell me about natural law, Vince?
Hold on a sec. Well, natural law, that's what we're talking about as far as this anarch I see.
Yeah.
Well, it's not it's the shit we're living under now.
What is, Flash?
Natural law is not the law we're living under today. Whatever the hell they want to call it, it's what they do that matters, right? And it's a fucking joke, all of it.
Well, what opposes natural law, the system that we currently find ourselves not only being in, and unless we can keep going and make a change, that we're going to perhaps, as Hal Anthony said, let's see, March 29th, 2015, was the rebroadcast today on this morning for Lessons from Behind the Woodshed. Is the end near? I'm going to have to go back over here to me. Let me go pull that up exactly. So I posted over on the freedomsnetwork.com, the social site for rurallibertymedia.com. We're hanging out in chat too, by the way. If you're downstream, remember to come on back. It is, nearing the end of history. That was Hal this morning. Like I said, UCY.TV every weekday morning at 7. a.m. Central Time. That was November 29th. So, yeah, I listened how, let me see a marker here, about 126. I listened, and just from the context, how I was able to do a search, and I think I used, what search was that? Doggone. I meant to save that. I'm sorry, but I didn't. Something about the mafia coming up saying that, yeah, they could take care of ISIS. So that was in that right there. Really good to follow along. I'm glad you're using the code now. So in the future, as I roll on down the line, the Pastcast from you will be much more easily able to be found, and then follow along with the lessons there. The blogcaster page here, reallibertymedia.com, behind the woodshed. Another great professor or teacher, Hal Anthony. And then Jules follows with our weekday show live, and talking about some of these ways that man is being hijacked, these biological pathways that it is a pretty scary possibility of where this world is going to be and why we are opposing, such, some people might think that transhumanism is good. It ain't going to be you and me getting, the final product, but they'll sure experiment on us in the meantime. Everything's hijacked as far as every system is set against us, and so it's a long haul to oppose and try to make right where we can. And that is Crickets, a tribute to Hal Anthony.
Make America great again.
Vote Trump. That Donald can save you. Follow the yellow brick road.
Sounds like a TV show introduction.
Do as you're told. Oh, did I add anything more to this? Let me see here. Let me flip the pages. Turn the page. Oh, da-dum-dum-dum-dum-dum. Oh yeah, that's people don't like silence. So that's why we hum. Not because we don't know the words. Well, I like to hum for fun, Pilgrim. Uh-huh.
That's what they say on RLM about you.
Do they say nice things about me?
Yeah, Vince the Hummer. Yeah.
Oh, that is so.
Oh, they're gonna. I haven't typed it in yet, but I'm getting ready.
Oh, good. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I thought I'd let you know ahead of time.
Has anybody got their eyebrows raised?
I don't.
Oh, here we go. Here's some. The Statue of Liberty, or is it the Statute of Liability? Let freedom ring, bang your head. Ha! You can't speak up on your knees, so bow your heads. Bow your heads. That's a line out of From Dusk Till Dawn. Santanica. And it ain't much more matters when you're 6 foot under. Yeah, this is no time for rational thinking. Trying to be rational sometimes.
Are you threatening me?
Understood.
Are you threatening me with violence?
Yes, I am. And onward and upward to parts of these battles that we pretend to defend. Whether it be by law or legal. What is that? Constitutional or common law? This has to do with this idea of natural law, admiralty, commerce. Yeah. So that's what opposes natural law. Or what would you say? Our right I mean, what is a right? Is it given to us, or is it self-evident?
It's all this stuff is just a nice way to keep you under control, so you'll do what you're told.
You think natural law is to do what you're told?
I think
Who
all
said
of it
that?
is. I just did. I think all of it is, and that none of it is actually designed to work, because the kind of control that it uses is negative control. If they used a positive control or reinforcement, the things that would have come from it would be different than what they're getting. So this is all done on.
I found my reference that I had this here.
Well, overpopulate a rat colony, you get the same results as you get when you overpopulate a human city. And they know this. This is not news.
No.
They rely on it. It's a form of business. Human beings are traded for money, like dogs.
That's a good thing, though, right?
Oh yeah, it's wonderful. Most of these idiots, they'll fight to keep the fucking system alive. I'd love to see it collapse tomorrow. I'd like to wake up to no internet, because there's no internet for anybody. Yeah. Not just me lose it. Not that selfless.
Yeah.
I mean, if it all went, it would be a nice beginning, and people would have to look at their own problems and stop worrying about Syria and South America and China. What the fuck?
Would you throw faggots on the pyre if the world was burning?
No.
Would you want to burn it down, or?
No. I'm not for the world burning. I'm for the way that they're running it being exposed, and for these fuckers to quit saying, well, recent research indicates, when they're fucking 85 years into lying to everybody about pot, and now they want to have recent research they found recently changed everybody's mind. No, they lied about it to make all this other shit popular so they could make money. And if we used hemp instead of the shit we're using, we wouldn't be in the position we're in right now. That is my basis.
Well, I think there should be a law that says that you got to use hemp, and then you got to label it. But you got to label it.
Well, wait, stop. That's why I'm against laws in the first place. There used to be law on the books in America that the farmers were required to grow a certain amount of hemp per farm. That all went away when synthetics were making people money, and they wanted to get rid of hemp because it would last so long. No profit.
What are you, some kind of communist boy?
Yeah.
What's that crazy stuff you're talking about?
Well, shut up and listen then. Anyway, so what about what you were saying earlier about it?
I was saying that I'm lighting a bowl. Happy Anarchy 420. Yeah, and thanks, Mental Pancakes. That is where I got that from. In all situations, we are both teacher and student. Thanks, Mental Pancakes. Understand, to know, to be educated. That might not be a good word.
Well, look, if people had a better history of information, they would not make the same stupid bonehead mistakes they make in daily life now.
Are you calling me a bonehead?
Go against what they were taught. So the way that this works is they teach these people to not think and to follow, and they do it. The majority of them, enough of them do it that it is real. It's not a theory or a conspiracy. It's really happening.
That boy is about as sharp as a bowling ball. I've come to borrow the hatchet. So yeah, it's almost 20 till. Yeah. So
you're frightening me now.
440 somewhere. That's a double. Oh, or 840. Make that. Yeah, thanks, Grim. 8:40. I remember now. So I'm over here reading, and we've got Killing in the Name acoustic cover has been added to the Freakers Ball request list. It is Freakers Friday. Woo-hoo.
Today.
Yeah, today.
Today. The capital.
Notice.
What? So you're for this disposable shit society we live in?
Me?
Really? Yeah.
Well, you can't burn it down.
You
can't burn it down and hope to rise out of the ashes.
No.
Do I think it's okay to have people with guns and badges? Well, yeah, I would say it'd be okay for people to say, I'm hiring this guy right here to go over and have a talk with this fella that stole my shovel out of the garden, right? If I couldn't have been able to say, hey, buddy, did you borrow my shovel? Or do I need to, have somebody arbitrate this, right?
Yeah, the whole concept is ridiculous.
Well, what happens in most cases now if you call the cops?
I don't call the cops.
I'm just saying, as an example of what you see in America, right?
That.
Yeah, it's usually a bad situation.
Okay, why?
Well, because the idea has been lost of the difference of keeping the peace.
You mean like the woman that called 911 because there was no chicken McNuggets at McDonald's?
Well, I can understand that. I mean, come on, we're talking. Be reasonable, man.
Okay.
See, some people, huh?
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm back. Wow. Wow. You are an American. Wow. Did I lose? Where'd you go?
I'm standing right here.
Okay. Wow.
Control government, what? As controlled or as controller? See, government controlled. That those acting in office, that they not be. What government has become is just completely opposite and opposed to what it's supposed to be.
Yeah,
so
it's
now,
a business trying to make a living.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's run as a business.
What a business does. I don't see what the problem is.
And these people that have been working for generations have people that have been positioned in history that sit in these seats of decisions, and they are operating as criminals.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so it's not even about government, right? Not really about government. It's about what these offices, what they're doing, right? They're committing crime.
It's about government. It doesn't matter what form of government.
Well, what I'm saying is you're not
because there is no good form of government. It doesn't exist. Even government itself is a concept that seems to be hard to prove that it actually exists in reality.
You can't go from here to no government. You can't just.
But if they called it the mafia, people wouldn't pay their taxes.
Well, actually, that's an illusion that you can go from here to no government. People do it every day in counter-economics.
Well, okay, yeah, there is. Of course, then you would hope to come to a point where there was enough people that it would actually make a difference. But in the meantime, I think that we should be holding accountable these people that are acting in these offices.
How do you do that?
They should be held accountable, but they're just the puppets. You know?
Yeah, but if you start holding people accountable, if it got to a point where enough people were bringing charges against the individual acting in office in a criminal act, there's a whole lot more of us than there is in them.
That should be done, and what you get then is the police investigating themselves. So.
Well, yeah.
For instance,
the silly cycle.
Or you lodge a complaint at the government, and well, guess who's going to look at that complaint?
Yes, you'll have to be a member of the Lawyers Guild, of course, right? To practice law or practice legal as law. Yeah, it is it's a crazy system, right? So you got to kind of squeeze it out where you can, like a big old festering boil.
I think I agree. I'm going to agree with Graham Z. I think she also put this forth at some point that you can't fix the system from within. There's no working within the system, right? I think it's a waste of time, to be honest.
The game is rigged. You can't. Yeah, the game is what's broken. Not the players. The players. They'll come and go, but the game is horrible.
There's enough loopholes, I think, for the system to exist as it does that it ought to be plenty of places that you could take and turn it against itself. So that's
but you got to take it outside the system, like counter-economics.
Absolutely, for sure. There's not a single fix. It's not one thing you can do, and there's nothing that one person can do. But eventually, to make the total, they can affect the change for themselves, yes, and in how they then act. But talking about tipping the world right, so.
I think that if you've lost your belief in government, right, that your actions will automatically adjust themselves, and thereby you are really changing reality. Well, shouldn't say that. You're changing the world that we live in. That's what I should say.
Good point, Graham. Police and the police. Police and the police. Yeah, I understand all that. There's a lot of discussion on how to oppose this with remedy against these perpetrators of the Crown, the Lawyers Guild, the Bar Association. There's talk of grand jury, and you look at the difference between what the grand juries are. I know how some say against this, and so I don't know, but common law grand juries and versus the statutory grand juries. How corrupt is that grand jury system that is used in this legalese? It's absolutely phenomenal, and the judge up there setting not as making sure rules that would pretend to be towards justice. No, but the letter of the law. The letter of the law is the legalese, and I understand how it is all set against us. So we seek to change jurisdiction for we the people, the actual us, and not this corporation claiming to be we the people. We might follow from the Magna Carta and study into the Constitution and the Federalist and the Anti-Federalist papers, and see how it is that we have evolved along in this really what I see this journey of the spirit of man to be seeking that which is right. This anarch I see, and that is that perfect pivotal point. And so we are in that journey. I think we all, as independent vessels, if we want to get, some legalese terms that, okay, we're independent, each one of us on this sea, and any attack by these ultra agencies of so-called governments against us is resistible. We have that right in natural law to not be accosted, robbed, killed. So, but what do? Choose your battle. You say, okay, I'll cut this tree down in my yard because it's against the ordinance. Because if you don't comply, you will die, and that is what this system of legalese, and most certainly you can trace the head back, So can you get to the head and cut it off? I mean, you can't fight all these little tentacles one at a time, or what? How do you do it? Again, government, controlled, or controller. I understand where we are in common, right? And not our differences, because that's where it lends it. All these tentacles breaking off, and not seeing that point of what is absolute right. And we can express these in the idea of natural law, that which is self-evident. We definitely got to understand. It needs to be understood.
Mm-hmm.
It needs to be understood. It needs to be obvious. It needs to be perceived by the people. We the people. Well, if we can't say, I don't like that tree either, so I think you ought to cut it down. It makes me sneeze. It's his tree. Understand, to know, to be educated. In all situations, we are both teachers and students.
Well, and remember, selfish people, when they're being selfish, people don't know they're selfish people.
Not all the time.
No, I would say that, because sometimes people have to be slowed down a little bit, take a look at what they're doing, and then in a little bit of hindsight, and they look at it differently, and they see another side to it. But at the moment, you gotta look out for number one.
Well, that's the difference there, that standing on opposing sides, as far as the difference between that and gravitating towards that central point.
Yeah.
Obviously. I make up a word. That which is obvious. Undeniable. Self-evident.
No, I didn't like that word. What, make up a different word? Kidding him.
Can you give me a hint? What does it sound like?
Well, it sounds like I don't give a shit.
I'm missing all the chat here. I'm not kept up. But it looks like it's pretty fun. For sure. Oh, what? Without central military authority?
There we go.
We'll crush them.
Yeah, the Smash-a-Doodles are step up now. Instead of creating a system of education that teaches people to be civilized and the proper ways to do certain things, they raise societies full of assholes that only care about themselves.
Asshole lives matter,
Well, maybe so, but I mean, it's encouraged in the daily life. If
you're being an racist again.
I know. I can't help myself. I've tried. It's so hard to give it. No, I like being an E-radio.
I tried so hard.
See, when you're electronic, nobody's better than anybody because this isn't even all really us. This is kind of like a part of who we are on the internet.
That just sounds like crazy talk.
Well, maybe to you because you're crazy, but hey, you can't tell me that I've entertained every aspect of your personality on the radio. I don't think. I think there's more to you than just the wackadoodle that reads stuff.
You think?
Yeah. Pretty sure. I mean, I'm like 38% sure.
Well, that's pretty good odds in Vegas. I'll tell you for sure. I'd put that bet down.
Well, I mean, we assume a lot about other people because everything's instant and it starts and then it's over. There's nothing long lasting anymore.
I don't think people suck. Trust no one. Or trust number one.
Wait, they don't trust?
No, that's the trust no one or trust number one. I'm not sure which that chat name is there, but people suck no matter where you live, says they, and I disagree. You know what?
Yeah.
I like people. I love meeting people. It is like, man, the whole world has spice, and each person's a little bit of flavor. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I've never met a stranger.
Well, I'm not that outwardly, but I got a few friends.
Sometimes I wish I wouldn't have met somebody like, oh man. Yeah. So then you got to learn to walk away. You know what I did? We're gonna run out of time. I meant to read that from Search. She had some really good stuff. I think I passed. Yes, I did. I posted it over here to the effing spot. This is let me open a new tab. The power of the state versus the power of love. I'll grab that. I'm going to drop that off in chat. Thanks to Circle. I had meant to read some of that, but I won't if we're running up to the top of our. Her it is right there. Check out that right there. Bada boom, bada bing. Thank you, barman. You're the best bot ever. I love you, barman. Serves drinks too. Walter, I appreciate you coming along.
You're welcome, buddy. Thanks for having me on.
You bet. I really appreciate what you're doing. I've learned a lot, and I will continue to learn. I think you set a good example on how we can better understand one another. So you've certainly played a pivotal role for me. I mean, I can trace a lot of this thinking or process of thinking that I have back to you. So I give you big props and a shout out, brother. You'll be on in the morning here in the States in the afternoon there where you're at in Holland.
Yep.
With the Solvinur event over on ucy.tv. That is at 10 a.m. on the Eastern time. Is that correct?
Yep.
All right. So where are we at? Finishing up, fixing to come with some more reading. What's the future look like here for the Solvinur event?
I'm not sure. I promised to do another book reading, but I don't think that's going to be a tendency that's going to keep on going, because after this one I think I'm done reading books. So we'll have to see what we do after that. Yeah.
So where are you at in 1984 right now?
We ended it last week.
Oh, it ended. That's right. I forgot. I'm sorry. I'm mind blank.
Yeah, we're going to start Tragedy and Hope 101.
Okay.
by Joe Plummer.
By Joe Plummer.
Yep.
So you're reading this?
Yep.
Okay. Well, I enjoy listening to you speak. You have a good voice and a great mastery of the English language. You might have a couple of words now and then that you question, but that's the analyzing of the word makes the more power to understanding and having things understood.
All right. Thanks a lot, brother.
Thanks, Will.
Take care. See you later, Flash.
All right, you too.
Thanks, Flash, man.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Anytime.
Thanks, Circle. Hey, Freaker Friday. Grammy Mary coming up a little later. And then, let's see. I'm trying to think if Solomon called in last week. That's more brain farts. Yeah, at the Freakers Ball tonight also. And then, like I said, come back for Walter in the Manana. And there's a message. All right, I'm going to go over here and stop record. Thanks, everybody. Grammy, all the chatters over here for joining along. Hans, you're more fun than a dancing monkey. I'll guarantee you. Oh, Graham, I caught up with part of your broadcast that I missed Wednesday over here in the, excuse me, running out of voice, over on the Real Liberty Media radio player to the right side of chat. Yep. Have a link in my pocket. Hey, how about that? Okay. I'm gonna go over here. You're the player after all. I mean, not the player, the recording. All right. So, hey, next Friday, this is no time for rational thinking. It's gonna get trumped by the very first broadcast of What Matters Worldwide, and that was back in May of 2013. And then the next, the last one, and also, well, hey, let's see. But we'll be back to doing radio. I'm gonna go make garden stuff. Thanks, Wanataco. Thanks, Hans. I was what? Amusing. I'm not assuming, and entertaining. Thanks, Hans. Appreciate that. All right. Hasta la pasta. We'll see you on the radio right here on RuralLibertyMedia.com and at UCY.tv. I hang out too. So I'm gonna kill the radio. Bye bye. Say good night, John Boy.
Night, Jeff.
Say good night.